विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरा पाणिर्मधुरा पादो मधुरा नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं करणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिला मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं इष्टं मधुरं इष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं घोरा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं दुरमं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरम्। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा, 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 हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा, हे भद्री नारायण वासुदेवा।
हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा, हे बद्री नारायण वासुदेवा।
हे भद्रे नारायण वासुदेवा, हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा।
हे बद्री नारायण वासुदेवा, हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे।
राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण।
राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे।
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 श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। नारायण वासुदेवा
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ 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 नारायण वासुदेवा
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण
गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री
Welcome to Satsang. Such a beautiful joy as always to sit together in this beautiful garden here where I'm so blessed to be right on the banks of Ganga, right in the lap of the Himalayas, with this beautiful, crisp winter breeze flowing through, and being able to join together with all of you, with this global Sangha, global community, coming together deeply as we dive into truth. So I'm so glad that you've joined this evening.
What is it that convinces people about the existence of Atman as the real truth and the rest is Maya? An ordinary person like me, living in the material world, finds it almost impossible to realize the truth despite being pounded by Maya time and time again.
The purpose of life and Maya and truth and who we are. This is not a truth for special beings. It's not a truth for the extraordinary beings. This is truth for everyone. In order for truth to be truth, when we speak about Satsang, for example, well, Sat means truth. Sang is that association, that togetherness. That truth, it's not about, as what I always say, that lowercase t truth in terms of this is the time of day or the day of week or a truth of right now. The truth that we speak of in Satsang is an eternal universal truth. And so when you ask in the question about what is it that enables that ordinary person to know the truth of themselves, of the soul, to break through Maya, well, all of the teachings are meant for the ordinary people. The scriptures are not written for a small handful of intellectuals or a small handful of deeply spiritual, awake beings, or a small handful of those who are, born almost enlightened. They're for the masses. And so every truth that is given, every teaching that is given for all. That which enables us to see the truth is looking in the right place. It's not some special pair of glasses we're gonna, manifest out of the ether. It's not some special formula. It's the same stuff that we're told over and over again. Meditate. Pray. Surrender. Serve. Have bhakti, devotion, love. Have gyan, wisdom, knowledge. Engage in karma, action, but surrender that action as an instrument of God. These are the tools for all. Focus on the third eye, on that divine eye. This is why we place our tilak there. It reminds us. I don't only have these two physical eyes that see shape and form and color, movement, that see with, rods and cones, that which is reflected on my retina. No. I have this third eye, this divine eye, this Agya Chakra that enables me to see the truth, to see the divinity. But I have to awaken it through meditation, through prayer, through practices that still the mind, purify the mind. The Atma, the soul, is already pure, always pure, ever pure. The mind is entrenched in illusion, in Maya. So these practices, they purify the mind, they clean the mind. You can think about it like cleaning a window. It's not that cleaning the window brings the sun. The sun was already there. But cleaning the window enables you to benefit from the sun. Sadhana cleans that window. It enables us to see the truth of who we are, to see Atma, soul. And when I say see, I don't mean see as in I have a visual imagery of it. There's a lot of ways of seeing that are not necessarily visual. So don't think, oh, I've only seen something when I literally can describe its shape and its form and its color. On a deeper level, we can see, as in we can know, we can experience. That's why we meditate. Meditation cleans that window and enables us to see. It enables us to get out of the clutches of Maya. And this third eye, this Agya Chakra, is literally the energy center of the power of discrimination, what we call vivek. Now, it's not discrimination in the negative way, like these days when we say, don't have discrimination on the basis of, color or race or religion or sexual orientation or culture or language or finances. But it's the ability to have the real discrimination of truth from falsehood, of being able to see the divine in ourselves and in the world. So these are the practices. It's not that you need a personal invitation for the universe to say, hey, that which I've been saying for thousands of years, hey, it applies to you also. Guess what? But a lot of us kind of act like that. A lot of people think, well, that may be true for others, but it's not true for me. Everyone else may be divine, but I'm not. Everyone else may be pure and Atma, spirit, soul, divinity, but not me. Meditation, prayer, all of this works for other people, but not me. A lot of us feel like that. We feel like somehow the kind of reject from the manufacturing cycle. The kind that in a factory, everything else gets sent off to the shops and a few of the rejects get left behind. But God's manufacturing shop doesn't have any rejects. There's no one this doesn't apply to. But again, that's just the workings of Maya that says, oh, this isn't for me. Everyone else should do it, but not me. Doesn't apply to me. And this is where that purification of the mind is even more important. To be able to say, hey, that's just Maya. That's just illusion. That's just this power that's trying to get me stuck. So, it doesn't matter how ordinary you think you are. I've never met an enlightened being, a master, who says, oh yeah, I'm really different than you are, that's why this works for me and it's never going to work for you, and the best you can hope for is, maybe a little bit of light, but you're really different than I am. I've never met a master who says that. Every one of them says something like, I'm just a very ordinary, very blessed being. Meaning, grace has been showered upon me, but I am very ordinary. It's just God's grace. It's just God's blessing, whatever has happened to me. I am just simple, just ordinary. Anyone who says I'm not, I would be actually a little wary of, because, as I said, all of those I've met have always said, I'm really ordinary. Now, of course, we look at them and we say, no, you are nothing but ordinary. You are the opposite of ordinary. But their own self-identification is, that's all God's grace. That's all blessings. I am very ordinary. I am just like all. And I share this with you because these teachings, these practices that they've all engaged in, the sadhana that they've done, that's what they credit the awakening with. Not, oh yeah, I came out of the womb enlightened because I'm so special and, God created me differently than God created you. No. The teachings are all for everyone. So no matter how ordinary you think you are, remember that the divine is within you. And that divine within you wants to be expressed and embodied and be able to expand and expand, to be known, to be seen. And the only thing that's preventing that divinity within you from being known and seen and expressed is how small you think you are in your own mind. And it's that smallness you think you are in your mind that keeps you from doing the practices, because you think, oh, well, I'm just ordinary. It's not going to work for me. So recognize that that divinity is within you. These practices are for you. And through these practices, ordinary beings, as we all are, have the exquisite blessing of an extraordinary experience of knowing the true extraordinary nature of the divinity within themselves. So it's all for you.
How can I overcome all of the negative thoughts in my mind and get peace?
The thoughts in our mind, these negative thoughts that keep us from being in peace, it's not so much about getting over them in terms of the way that a plate of food gets over, as in you eat it and you keep eating and whether you like it or not, but eventually you finish it and it's over. Or you go through your years of school and you keep studying and keep working hard and eventually it's over. Thoughts don't get over like that. It's much more a matter of changing the way that the mind works. Don't think that you're actually just going to be able to think so many thoughts eventually that you'll just be done. Thoughts breed thoughts. They keep having more and more thoughts. Desires breed desires. Thoughts breed thoughts. Doubts breed doubts. The only way to have that peace is to change the nature of the way that the brain works. And so, for me, one of the ways that I like to think about it is, if you think about lying on your back on a beautiful sunny day, and there's a blue sky, and you're looking up at the sky, and every once in a while there's a wispy white cloud that blows across the sky. And maybe they're frequent. Maybe it's a windy day and one cloud after another keeps blowing across the sky. Well, there's two ways of dealing with those clouds. Way number one. Now remember, you're lying on your back, you're looking up at the sky. The sky is blue. The clouds are coming by. So option one is, as a cloud comes into your field of vision over here, you go like this. And you follow that cloud all the way through the sky. You keep following it and following it and following it until it disappears. And then another one, and you follow that one, and you spend your whole day just doing that. That's option one. That's what most of us do. Option two. You don't move your head or your eyes at all. You stay focused, and you stay focused on the blue sky. And sure, every once in a while, across that blue sky, a cloud goes. But you don't hook your awareness into the thought. You don't follow that cloud across the sky. You stay focused on the blueness of the sky. And that's option two, and that's the way to deal with the mind, is when a thought comes, what most of us do is we grab onto it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're meditating. Your eyes are closed and you are focusing on your breath. You're watching the breath. And maybe you're chanting the So-Hum mantra. The awareness is fully in your breath. And then suddenly you notice a smell. A smell of blueberry muffins. Okay? Now, what most of us do is we hook that thought into the smell. And the mind goes, oh, blueberry muffins. God, I remember the blueberry muffins that I had in that bakery in that cute little store. God, I remember that little cute bakery in New York when we were visiting New York, and every morning they had those hot blueberries. God, I remember those muffins. They were so good. That was really a fun trip that I took when we went to visit New York. I wonder what happened to Lisa, the friend of mine who I traveled to New York with. God, I haven't talked to her in ages. I really should call Lisa. Oh no, now I remember. That's right, she stole my boyfriend. I will never talk to Lisa again. I forgot, I was so angry at her. But you know what? He was really kind of a rotten scoundrel also. He went off with her. Now, where'd my meditation go? What happened to my breath? What happened to my Soham mantra? Right? One smell of blueberry muffins. Just a smell, that was it, a simple smell. Suddenly, I'm on the streets of New York on a vacation decades ago. A friend who ran off with a lousy boyfriend I had. Meditation is gone because I've hooked my thought into every thought that comes. I've hooked my mind, my attention, into every thought that comes. Instead, you go like this. We try option 2 now. You're meditating. You're aware of the breath. Suddenly there's a smell of blueberry muffins. And the mind goes, blueberry muffins. And you're just about to jump on that magic carpet of blueberry muffins when suddenly you remember, I'm meditating. And you bring the awareness back to the breath. You're with the breath, you're with the mantra. Maybe a few moments later, now the smell of coffee comes. And again, you have the choice. Are you going to allow the mind to hook into the smell of coffee and some vacation in, Paris, whenever it was, when you sat on, the banks of the Seine River, drinking a cappuccino, watching the boats? Or are you just going to bring the mind back? My breath. I'm meditating. My breath. So this is how the mind plays. This is how the thoughts play. And that's why it's never about my thoughts getting over. They're going to keep coming. It's about your very conscious focus, choice that says either I'm going to hook my attention into every thought and I'm going to follow it wherever it takes me. Foreign countries, relationships of decades past. Or I'm simply going to bring the awareness back to the breath. Back to the mantra, like bringing the eyes back to the blue sky rather than hooking them into the clouds as they go by. And this is true whether they're random thoughts or whether they're negative thoughts, as the question said. Whatever kind of thoughts, it's the same. Now, negative thoughts, though, have a particular quality to them because negative thoughts are infused with a sense of judgment. And so negative thoughts are kind of a double whammy spiritually. They distract us. They hijack our attention. So spiritually, they prevent us from staying grounded and staying focused, staying meditative. But they also harm us emotionally because those are the thoughts that are constantly telling you, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're nothing, or that's judging others, creating distance and separation between you and others. And of course, psychologically, we always say that that which you judge the most about another being is that which you really need to work on in yourself. So that judgment of another anyway is a reflection of the self. When negative thoughts come, the way to deal with them is exactly the same way as you deal with any thought, which is just bring the mind back. Just bring it back. Refuse to jump on that vehicle. You know, I always say our thoughts are vehicles, tickets to vehicles that take you someplace. An airplane, a train, a car. But they're going to destinations that usually you don't want to go to. So the negative thought is a ticket onto a plane or a train or a bus to misery. Now you've jumped on it God knows how many times in your life. You know where it ends up. Next time that thought comes, just say, thanks but no thanks. I don't want to get on this. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's easier than it sounds, but the truth is we do it all the time. Imagine you're sitting at an airport, you're at the gate, you're a little early for your flight, and before your flight comes, there's another plane, another flight. Same gate, but not your flight yet. Do you get on the plane just because it's there and you're there? Even though it's not going where you want to go? Of course not. You're standing on a train platform. A train comes by, it's not your train. But you don't get on it just because it's there. You don't say, well, I couldn't help it, I was just standing there and the train came by, or mujhe to jump card na pada, I had to get on it. We understand, this is not my train. I'll wait. In the same way, when these negative thoughts come, just recognize this is not my train. I do not want to jump on this. I will not jump on this. I know where this is going. And just envision yourself literally standing there on a train platform going, bye, bye. You know, think about it visually, play with it, have fun with yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously, especially the emotional nonsense that goes on in our minds. Just play with it. Some negative thought comes either about yourself or about others. Just, bye, you're not my train. Or as my Guru Puja Swamiji says, it's like junk mail. You know, you open your email inbox, and along with the emails that you want, inevitably there's a whole bunch of junk mail. Now there tends to be good filters, but when he started giving this teaching, it was before our email services had the ability of filtering out spam. And you'd open up your email and it would be full of all kinds of stuff, offering to help you, improve the size and shape of various body parts and whatnot. But you never got offended. You never read the subject of a junk mail and felt like, oh my God, how could somebody suggest that I should, increase the size of that body part, or I don't even have that body part. How dare they? Never ruined your day. Because you knew it was just junk mail, not meant for you. Just spam being automatically sent out by some computer hacker sitting somewhere in the world sending out this junk. Well, there's parts of the mind that just do that. So just tell them bye. Or imagine yourself hitting delete to the junk mail that comes. You've got to take charge of the mind. Don't expect that the thoughts are just going to stop coming. But you have the control. The mind is yours. The voice in your head when you are conscious is yours. When you're not conscious, then it's programming. But when you are conscious, the voice in your head is yours. If I say to you right now, in your own mind, count to 10. That voice counting to 10 in your mind right now is yours. You have consciously done it. In the same way, regain conscious control of your mind. If it's full of all kinds of subconscious thoughts, just make a commitment to be more conscious. That patterning can only happen when you're checked out. Autopilot only takes over a flight when the pilot is no longer in control. In the same way in your mind, the subconscious programming only takes over when your conscious pilot is asleep at the wheel. So stay conscious, stay mindful, stay aware, and you'll be able to have control over those thoughts. Yes, one more.
How is it that I can feel so close to God and my Guru one day and then feel so full of anger the next?
So, spiritually, we have to stop thinking in terms of silos and boxes. To say, how is it possible that one day I'm full of love and devotion to God, to my Guru, and another day I'm full of anger? It's like saying as though somehow those two things were mutually exclusive. They're not. As long as there is karma, karmic fruit that's not dealt with yet, as long as there are patterns in the mind, patterns in the brain, sanskaras, that we don't have consciousness with yet, they're going to keep playing themselves. The anger is an unconscious programming. We get angry when the universe is not doing what we want. But it's an unconscious way of getting angry, meaning if I say to you right now, okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to be as full of anger as you possibly can. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Now, I don't have the benefit of a garden full of people whose hands I can see. So I can't say to you, okay, raise your hand if you could do it. But I know, even connecting with all of you through this camera, that you can't. Now, you can think of things that make you angry, of course. You can think of things you'd like to change, of course. But that face red, palms sweaty, heart racing, tunnel visioned anger, you can't do it. Because you can't do it consciously. You cannot consciously lose yourself the way that we lose ourselves in anger. So love for God, love for my Guru, love for anyone, when it's pure, requires me to be present. It requires me to be conscious. It requires me to be here now, in this moment, in this breath, in the perfection of this instance, right here. Only right here, right now, can I deeply feel love. Anger requires the opposite. It requires me to be wrapped up in my head. Another time, another place, another pattern, another expectation, another unfulfilled desire, another illusion. And so the fact that both of those can coexist in the same person is actually really, really normal, really common. by God's grace, we don't have to reach a state of total enlightenment before we're able to experience deep love for God. Thankfully. Thankfully, because at least along the way to enlightenment, we're able to have that extraordinarily divine experience of being one with God, of connecting with God, of loving the universe, when we're conscious. And then we still slip into moments of unconsciousness, moments of that autopilot, subconscious patterns from another lifetime or earlier in this lifetime karmic package stuff. And we react in anger. So they're not mutually exclusive at all. But be very thankful for the experiences of love for God, of love for the Guru that you've had, because when you have moments of anger then, as soon as you can grab hold of some kind of consciousness, say to yourself, do I want to walk this path? I have a choice. I have an alternative. There are people who haven't had that divine experience, and so who don't know they have an alternative. They also have one, of course, but they're not conscious of it. They think this is the only way to be. But you are blessed enough to know that you have an alternative. That this same being, this same bunch of cells has the ability to be drenched in divine love. And so why choose anger? Choose love instead. So the minute that anger comes up, the minute that you're aware of it, because sometimes it takes a few moments for our conscious mind to kind of kick in. The moment that your conscious mind kicks in, say, wait. I got on the wrong bus. Let me off. Get on the right one. Slowly, you will change that habit of reacting unconsciously in anger. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. Beautiful day, wherever you are in the world. Beautiful weekend, rest of the weekend. And we'll see you all on Monday for meditation.